All right. Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for coming to my show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. So now, can you introduce my followers who you are, please?
Sure. I'm Melissa Blair. I'm a holistic nutritionist and fitness coach.
Nice. So can you introduce your fitness journey, please?
Fitness journey.
Yeah.
Crazy enough, I've been in the fitness industry as a professional for 20 years. I used to be in the fashion industry and advertising and worked abroad in Asia and China. Came back from that and just was like really out of shape in comparison to what I was prior. So I grew up in athletics. I played national volleyball. I played basketball. I was always fit. And when I lived abroad, I lived as an expat and got skinny fat. And so when I got back from China, I got a part-time job at a gym as the receptionist for a free membership, and still worked in the advertising industry during the day. And then I started teaching some boot camp classes at night just because I enjoyed it myself and it was getting me back into shape. And enough people in class, it became really popular in Toronto, and enough people started asking me if I did personal training. So I went back to school and I got my different certifications to take on some one-on-one clients, and I would train them in the morning before the office, train them in the evening after the office. And then in 2000, I just thought to myself, like, what am I doing? I don't enjoy wearing a suit and I love wearing my Nikes. So I transitioned into the fitness industry as a personal trainer. And then I started competing. So I got a coach and I did my first figure competition, and really just did it because I love training and I just needed the competitive element within me, needed something to train towards. And it really gave me an opportunity to learn more about nutrition, about manipulating your different macros, about just detailing the physique with symmetry elements. And so I got my pro card in two different federations and represented Canada at the World Naturals for IBBF. And then, yeah, did that for several years, and then went back to school again a couple times, got my culinary arts so that I could make healthy food taste good. And also went back and got my holistic nutrition registration so that I could really transition in sort of my sport nutrition element with really being healthy from the inside out, which is where I am today. So really focusing on like nutrition as a keystone for building the external shell, I guess.
Amazing. Ever since I know you, like 2008 or 9, I never see you change your weight. Your weight is always consistent, right?
It is. I think the key thing, and that's a learning curve as well, but I really love what I do. So I always say, like with my clients, and also as a business owner, so Fitlicious Inc. is my business corporation that I run under. So I also have now like a brick and mortar supplement shop and whatnot. And so even just doing different keynote talks, I would do CanFit Pro, as well as, you know, for alumni association for my holistic registration school. And I just find that, you know, if I'm going to a coach or a mentor, I need them to walk the walk. If I am to respect them, then I want to know that they have done it themselves. And so I feel like my fitness journey must reflect what I'm asking a client to do, not because I've read about it, but because I've actually done it myself. So yeah, it's what I do.
Yeah, amazing. You know, a lot I see, especially women, fitness people or competitors, their season and off season, their weight change like 20, 30 pounds different, right?
Right. I mean, a lot of that too, like, I think that there's many different, like, there's an athlete mindset that is in any sport. And sometimes when you look at figure or bikini or bodybuilding, you have individuals that, you know, play with the idea because they like the finished result, but they lack the element of the athlete piece. Like it's not, I never look at like, you know, cardio or a training component as punishment. And if you do, your body will reflect that. So like anything, if you resent what you eat, if you resent how you train, your cortisol levels will go through the roof and you'll look and feel miserable. So I think that rebound weight is not just what they eat, but it's what they think about. So if they resent the process, your body's just gonna, it could bloat out with stress hormone, you know, 10 pounds without even ingesting more calories. So I think the key thing is really like enjoy, like the kind of cliche of enjoy the journey, but really enjoy the process, like commit to it and enjoy the process.
Yeah. So that's what's the difference between you and other people. Other average, like, you know, athlete or even professionals, like before the show, they do tons of, incline treadmill walking, a lot of cardio, and then very low calorie. They might
Right.
look great outside, but sick inside, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that was really interesting when I went back to school and just like different things that you look at. So like if you're before doing that, I wouldn't really pay much attention to skin. And our skin is our largest showing organ. Or like your eyes. So the whiteness and the clarity of your eyes, things like that, like, you know, specks within the pupil can show like liver issues and all of these really neat things. So without even someone like opening their mouth, I can kind of see, okay, their liver is stressed or their adrenals are crazy or whatnot. So it's kind of neat that way too.
Yeah, amazing. So what did your morning routine looks like?
My morning, well, right now, so now, like in the midst of a pandemic lockdown is a little different than if it were wide open, because we do own a gym here. But regardless, I wake up at about 4:30, and I start the day with a bullet coffee, and feed my dogs right now. So I get up, I have, I do enjoy just, my bullet coffee, and I will do a little bit of reading just to set the tone for the day. And then I would do client work. I do train. So I do cardio daily. So I usually do a 30-minute cardio in the morning first thing before I would have my coffee, and then I would probably do my cardio after my reading or during my reading. I find when I do cardio, I actually retain more information. So I enjoy that. And then I would, so that's the first 2 hours right there.
Okay, so when do you train, actual training?
Training, I train again, it depends on my day and what I have in the run of a day, whether I have meetings or whatnot, but I spread out my training. I either lift, so like this morning, for instance, I trained back at 5:30 a.m. because I was charged, I felt good instead of cardio, so I flipped it. So I would then do cardio. I haven't done my cardio today, so I would probably end my day this evening with some cardio. I don't really lift well after 2 or 3. I find that cardio I can do, but my lift I like to get in earlier in the day. So sometime either 10 a.m. or like 1 p.m. would be my lift time.
Yeah, me too. My cortisol level is higher in the morning. So
Yeah.
I like to train in the morning. I don't like to train after 1.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, in the morning, like all the healthy people I interview, like they are early riser.
Absolutely.
So what's your training schedule? How many times a week you train? And then what's your training schedule?
So right now I'm kind of playing around with some new programming that I'm a little bit excited about. So I'm kind of like, I had this thing of like this whole like sort of suppressed feeling of being locked down. I changed the verbiage to locking it in. So I've locked in my training right now. I lift 6 days a week. I take 1 full day rest, and I do cardio daily. So I would always do like my cardio routine right now. I could do like a target where I'm going to do a little bit more intense and I might get it done in 25 minutes. Or if I feel good and do a little bit of interval with a little bit of rest recovery, it wouldn't go more than 45. And I would only do a 45 if I'm not lifting that day. But right now, 30 minutes of cardio. My lifts, I generally I'm doing a Metcon every Sunday right now. And I really have been enjoying that just because I do a lot of supersetting. So even when I'm lifting with weight, my heart rate gets up. So I don't need to do like the hamster wheel cortisol cardio. I get sort of that with my lift. But yeah, I'm on a 5-day split with one full circuit day of the Metcon and then one full day rest.
Wow. So how long you train?
Get it done within an hour. I don't train more than an hour. So it's pretty bang on 55, 60 minutes.
You do squat, bench, deadlift?
Yeah, right now what I'm doing is, so like my split this week, so I map it out, it's like for the week. So, and I have kind of a good flow depending. So right now I do a live workout on Mondays for Blair's boot camp. So I try not before I might do legs on a Monday, but now I don't. So I'll train shoulders and abdominals on Monday, and then I'll teach the live class, which is my cardio that day for Monday. Tuesday, I will do like my legs next. Then I would do Wednesday, I would do chest and maybe a little bit more core with some functional movements, and then back. If I need a little bit more shoulder, I'll cap a little bit of rear delt or medial delt with my back day. But today was just a really heavy back day, so I did no shoulders. And then yeah, then I'll do my Metcon on Sunday. So tomorrow I'll just do cardio.
So you train your full body once a week?
I train my full body once a week. Legs get 2 different days, front and back, and my shoulders usually get a double hit.
Wow, it's like male bodybuilding style, right?
It is. It's hard. I've trained with so many, I'm so blessed to have actually worked with such amazing, I think bodybuilding is such a cool sport when you get into the science of it. So yeah, I know, and I've worked with some pretty cool coaches that is definitely where my heart is at for training structure.
Amazing, amazing. So what? So tell us about your live training. What is that?
My what training?
Your program, live training. Right now, Monday, you say you do live workout, right?
Oh, the live, yeah. So
yeah.
Blair's boot camp is our gym, and we do large group fitness training when we're normally open. So we would have anywhere from 80 to 85 people in a class. So right now, clearly we're not. And so we've just committed to keeping the community running with a live workout every day on IGTV. And so basically on Mondays, I lead it. And it uses just home something that people can do at home. So it will use either body weight with some added resistant bands or dumbbells or something that is functional that way. And I've really tried to work on some mobility movements just because a lot of people don't have a lot of heavier equipment. So rather than getting frustrated at what we don't have, it's really an opportunity to strengthen and work on range of motion so that when you do get back into the gym and you can get back to some heavy deadlifts and squats, you're actually doing it properly. Whereas if you just stop training and sit a lot and your hips get all tight and then you think you're going to jump back in the gym and lift like you did, you're going to get hurt. So I think it's really key that you can really utilize this time to do some Metcon work for VO2 max. Mobility work is so key and can be really fun as well.
Amazing, amazing. So is all gender or only for ladies?
Oh, it's co-ed, absolutely.
Nice, nice,
yeah.
Nice. So I'll put the detailed information on our show note here.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you can only do 10 minutes a day, you can work out 6 times a week. What kind of movement you will do? Only 10 minutes.
I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. First of all, 10 minutes doesn't give you enough time to even warm up your biomechanics.
Yeah, sure. But 10
So,
minutes, just say 10 minutes. Like say people, like just to give the idea, I ask everybody,
okay.
like 10 minutes. So yeah,
6 days a week, 10 minutes. I'm going to break it down to one body part for each day, and I'm going to hammer that body part. So in 10 minutes, if I can get in 4 sets of, so like a leg day, and I would just like rotate it. So definitely like what you mentioned, your squat.
yeah,
I would definitely work in that. I would definitely work in some, for total core, shoulder, back, I would work in some man makers, Bulgarian split squats, super heavy.
I love that, super heavy.
Yeah, just that's the thing. If you have 10 minutes, you need to go for your max and keep your rest time anywhere between 30 seconds, 45 seconds max, so you're not eating out, and that'll get your heart rate up. So for upper body, chest would let's just go with straight decline chest presses, some plyometric push-ups. Arms, I don't work, so I wouldn't waste a 10-minute day on those. I would do that by doing pull-ups. So I would do some weighted pull-ups for my back.
I love it.
Oh, what else? You just have to sort of think like you're a Navy SEAL.
That's enough. That's enough, right?
Okay.
You know, one of the reason I'm interviewing you, because a lot of ladies, they don't lift heavy enough.
Right.
They don't lift weight enough. Like you know, you are like traditional, like bodybuilding style. That's why you have an amazing physique, because you actually lifting weight.
Right.
Not like a pinky, that little dumbbell. You're not.
Right.
So what kind of dumbbell you're lifting?
For what kind of dumbbell I lift? I feel like it's not even fair to talk about that right now when people don't have access to heavier than 10-pound dumbbells. They're just like
they will have it. They will have it. I want lady to lifting weight.
Absolutely. I think the key thing, so the misconception that and I think it's changing drastically. I think a lot more women know that lifting heavy is really, feels great. The misconception that you're going to get big and bulky, it is so hard as a woman to put on muscle. Like the only way you're going to get thick is if you eat like an idiot. If you eat crap and you lift heavy, you will get big, 100%. But if you lift heavy and you control your calories and you keep it clean and you don't let your sugars go crazy, you will just get lean and tight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So now, what is your nutrition like? How many times a day do you eat? And then what time you eat? What do you eat?
What do I eat?
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm locking it in. So I've put some little guideline habits that I find are really effective within a couple days. So right now I'll get up. I have my first, like I said, I'll have I call it a bullet coffee. So it's just collagen powder as my protein. I'll use some Fiberlicious powder, which is like an amazing fiber powder from Purica, so I can keep my fat a bit lower. I'll use an MCT oil powder with a little bit of actual ghee, or I'll use an MCT ghee liquid as my fat with the added fiber, and a grapefruit. So I have a grapefruit every single day. That is a given. Like if I don't have grapefruits, I will actually go out to the grocery store in the evening so that I have one for the morning. So I have my grapefruit and my coffee. Then I would, and that would be like within 15 minutes of waking. And then I eat basically every 3 to 4 hours. So, and I always have protein as my main building block. And I'm either pairing that up with an impact carb and a low fat or no fat, or I'm pairing that up with a non-impact carb and a higher fat. And my impact carbs, what I mean by that is how it impacts my blood sugars. So clearly something that's higher in sugar, a little bit lower in fiber. And those I keep to after my training. So I will pre-workout, I'll have a protein fat combination. So that could look like 3 boiled eggs and some avocado with a little bit of extra Icelandic yogurt. That could look like just some lactose-free cottage cheese with, again, some avocado as a fat with the added fiber of that. or post-workout, I'm always going to have, again, about 25 grams of protein and no added fat, and about 20 to 25 grams of impact carb. So I want that little bit of spike. Then that's usually falls in and around my lunchtime. My afternoon snack, I'm going to go to a protein and a high fiber. And then dinner, again, I'm going to have, depending on what time my training would be, sometimes that would include like a like sweet potato or rice or whatever. And if I haven't trained, if I trained earlier in the day, then that would be like my green veg, my salad with a lean or a high fat protein. So right now, my last meal is ingested before 7 o'clock. So if I don't get my last meal in by 7, I don't get it.
Wow. Looks like ready for competition.
But it kind of is, but it gives you something to focus on. I don't do moderation well. So it's like I'm all in, or like it's just kind of like going through the motion. And I think when your body, and your body would know this too, once your body gets accustomed to being at a set point, you can maintain that. But if you love training and I'm a food geek, like I just geek out, because again, everything I put my own body through, I can hand that off to a client of mine. I can talk about that with actual authentic knowledge because I know what it feels like, right? So I think that's really important. And also just to get a better understanding of cycling foods and what works and what doesn't. So yeah, that's what I do.
So do you have like cheat meal or reward meal?
I don't use that verbiage anymore. I think that's when you talk about like someone who goes up and down by 30 pounds. I don't have anything. I've really evolved my relationship with food that if we focus on foods that we can't have, then all you're going to fixate is on that food. So my focus is on what I can have. So I always look for, so I don't eat poor quality food. So if I'm going to have a bonus calorie, like a reload meal would be more effective to say that. Like I eat chocolate every day, but the chocolate is high quality. There's no sugar in it and it tastes amazing. I wouldn't have like a Cadbury crap, hydrogenated fat, diesel, cheap food, right? And the reason why I don't is my body feels terrible on it. So if I do, and then I wake up with a headache, how do I function for the next, 4 hours? It hurts, So I definitely I eat pizza at least once a week, but it's like good quality ingredients, right? There's foods I don't eat, like dairy. I don't eat regular dairy, like regular dairy cheese. I don't. Goat cheese I do almost every day. It's just a different enzyme, so I don't react to it. And if I do eat things, my skin shows it right away. So it's kind of like, again, is it worth it? Not really. Like I would never put diesel in my truck, even if it's cheaper. So why would I put it in my body? That's how I look at it.
Exactly. How I see healthy people, their reward meal, they just eat healthy food a little more.
Right? Like quality. Like that might be where you have like a really delicious like steak, or that might be where you like whatever
or rice or fruit.
Yeah. Exactly. A big bowl of rice.
Yeah, that's right. So how about supplement?
Supplements, yeah. Right now omega-3 is a must. So I use a krill oil. So omega-3, and I also am taking a full spectrum digestive enzyme right now, more so because I think like stress is just higher, so that just suppresses. And so I just find that I feel more satisfied. I don't always stay on a digestive enzyme, but I am right now. As well, so I have that with my 3 major meals. I take a curcumin for inflammation, and it's amazing. It's also by Puric. It's like an ibuprofen. So like I think that it's a catalyst for like recovery. So my main focus with supplements is to optimize my recovery so that I can lift heavy and within 48 hours. So I do take pre and post BCAs, and how
many grams do you use it?
Grams of, well, it's a blend. So like it would be like it's not really by gram. Like it would be, the profile would be different. So like,
okay.
Yeah, it's got my pre one has a little bit of creatine, beta alanine, taurine, no caffeine. So it's a caffeine free one, which I like that. And also like no artificial colors is a key thing. A lot of people think that their pre-workout is giving them energy, and it's actually their nervous system being attacked by aspartame. So it's really important to have like a clean pre-workout. It's just to provide those branch chains. And I use an adrenal support. It's an adaptogen. So I've really transitioned into adaptogens versus supplements, so that, and I don't know if you're familiar like with the difference between the two. Like before I only knew of supplements. And so basically supplements, you take it, your body has it. If you don't take it, your body doesn't have it, right? An adaptogen actually helps your body do what it's not doing. So it helps your body communicate efficiently. And so as opposed to a supplement, you might have to increase a dosage of a supplement to get the same effect. Where an adaptogen, you actually taper. So you might start with a higher dose and be able to taper off of it until your body is functioning, or your adrenal is functioning, or whatever you're taking that adaptogen for. So ashwagandha and a vitality is what I'm taking for like a stress support, and it really helps to balance cortisol levels from training and from just life. And an effervescent magnesium before bed, and as well as a probiotic.
How about vitamin D wintertime?
Oh, D3, B12, that's a given. That's like, yeah, that's a given. And vitamin C I have in my water once a day. But I think of those as more nutrients than, yeah.
Okay, so now if you can only eat 5 to 7 things rest of your life.
Oh, how did I miss that question? Okay. Oh, geez. Okay.
What would you eat?
5 to 7 things for the rest of my life.
5 to 7 things only, or 5 to 7 favorite food you can only eat that one rest of your life. So what would you eat?
For taste or for function?
Do whatever you want. So now, okay, so you can only eat 5 to 7 things, okay? So include everything, function plus taste and performance, recovery.
This is like a load. When I read this, it's kind of a loaded question, because it's like calories don't count. Like if you could eat this but get the effect of that, it would change the game. But I'm gonna go by like function and taste. So eggs would be number 1, because they are the most complete protein. They're cheap, they're portable. That's function, and I love eggs. Grapefruit would be number 2, because it is the only food that I eat every single day. And supplement foods don't count. Like, does like a whey isolate or like a collagen powder count?
Whey is actually food, so you can include it. It's a food. So go ahead. Whey is food.
Well, so is collagen technically. So,
yeah. So that's that's a count. Okay, 7 things. So okay. So egg and then
you're talking to a culinary graduate. You know how hard this question is. This is like the hardest. I'm sweating right now. My cortisol levels are.
Yeah, I want other people to know. You know. Yeah.
Okay. So we got eggs. We got grapefruit.
Yep.
I'm gonna say oats.
Oats, okay.
Because oats are so versatile. I'm gonna say enhanced collagen powder, because that's your skin, so that's the elasticity. That's gonna keep you looking good even when you're old. I'm gonna say I got 4. I could live on those 4 for real. I probably could survive on those 4.
Yeah, of course. Even egg, even if you eat only egg, you will survive anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'll also gas every one that you absolutely love. So there has to be a balance. But yeah, those 4. I mean, there's 4.
There's 4?
Yep.
Wow, you are super tough. Only 4. A lot of people like, they do 7, 8, 9.
Okay, like, I mean, if I were to add something in, like a meat, I think like salmon, I would add in a salmon.
Okay, salmon.
Just for the omegas. And like
you said you steak earlier.
I don't eat red meat a lot at all. So I wouldn't say, yeah, I wouldn't
Okay.
say that. It's very
Oh,
acidic and it ages you and it's bad for your like in high consumption. So if you're stuck with that, I definitely wouldn't pick that. But there's a couple more. I'd go with those.
okay. All right. Good. So how you monitor your health? You measure your blood work and then your HRV, deep sleep, REM sleep, you measure?
Well, right. So I always get an annual physical, just to check in on everything. And I think that's really important. A lot of people neglect that. And it's really important. I think knowledge is power. And so just, and also know what to ask for when you go to your doctors. Like you can ask for your B12, you can ask for different blood work tests to be done. For me, I really listen to my body's signals when something is off. So the number one thing that triggers first when something is off is sleep. So I think if there's one thing that is important for holistic health, whether it's building muscle, losing fat, not having, like even mental health, it's optimizing the quality of your sleep. Someone who says that they can survive on 4 hours of sleep does not know what feeling rested is. The only time you can build your muscle is by rest. So like testosterone, like all of cortisol levels only turn off when you are totally in your REM. So sleep quality is so key. If I'm disrupted in sleep, I'll look at, okay, what am I eating before? I always just have one coffee. Did I have a coffee later in the day? Is my caffeine too high? Did I work out too late in the evening? That's why I don't like working out past like that 2 or 3 like you. My body's still going. So really that like sleep and my skin and my mood. Like if I'm snappy, I don't really get snappy. Nothing really rocks my boat that way. So if I'm snappy, it's usually because I'm not sleeping well. So then I look at why am I not sleeping well?
So how many hours do you sleep at night? Or do you ever take a nap?
I always allow myself mentally to say I can take a nap, but I don't usually take a nap because once I'm up, I'm up. But I sleep. So like I get up at like 4:30. I like wind down. Like I have an alarm on my phone that goes off like bedtime. So it gives me like a 30-minute warning of turning everything. But I get like 7 to 8 hours every night.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. So in your knowledge and experience, what is the most important thing for our quality and longevity of life?
What is the most important thing for quality and longevity?
That's right. That's what everybody wants. They want to live long and then happy.
I would say recovery. I would say being able to recover. So that would entail how is your digestion? Are you absorbing the nutrients of whatever food you're putting in? Because if you're not, your cells are starving. I would say your sleep for reasons I just listed. Hydration is part of recovery. So, that vitality piece of hydration. So it all ultimately comes with recovery. So that also is like mental recovery of having that, mind muscle connection, but also the spiritual piece of like having peace of mind. Like, are you, if you're like, and this last 2 years is a perfect example, like, are you good just being with yourself? And if you're not, you better check why not. And whatever that is, you can work that out with like a journaling piece, with meditation, with whatever that looks like to you. But I think it's really, really important to love your own company.
Yeah, I love that. That's very important. So if you can meet 20 years of yourself, so use a time machine, what kind of advice you will give yourself?
So I'm like 11? No, I'm just joking. My 11-year-old.
Sure. That's fine too.
What would I say to my
20 years old? Yeah. You want to give advice?
Go for it. Whatever it is, go for it. Don't double guess it.
Amazing.
That's what I would say.
That's fantastic.
Because I think that you know, like when someone is like got an idea or got a dream or got a goal, the only thing that talks them out of it is their fear of failing at it, or their fear of being a beginner. Everyone is a beginner. That's one of the things I totally admire about you. Someone asked me, they're like, who are you? Who's Joe? Like, how do you know, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, like, your journey is so inspiring and so like gritty. Like, you became like the #1 PT guy in like Toronto because you knew you could. Like, you didn't stop. You didn't take no as an answer. You learned the skills like that survival. Like, everyone has within them what they need to achieve whatever their mind can like dream of. And so many of us talk ourselves out of that dream for no reason. Right? So I just think, yeah, go for it.
Amazing, amazing. So do you have a favorite failure of yours? So
No
you learn, you like no failure, no injury, nothing, like anything,
So
or mistake.
There is nothing in my life that I would consider like a negative failure. And I say that because, and I actually have like my wrist tattoo is Fineo, which is failure is not an option. And that concept is like, because I think the word failure has this like negative, oh, I wish that didn't happen. But I would challenge anyone who has something that they have labeled or someone else has labeled on them as a failure, that they did not gain the most amount of wisdom, not knowledge, but like wisdom that they have applied 10 times after that. So I don't have anything that I regret or that I would say was catastrophic. But I think in the moment, I always was just so caught up in failure was not an option that I always won.
How about this? Not failure, like biggest some mistake or accident or something happened, but that's greatest to your teacher. For example, for me, I had a knee surgery. Okay. So that wasn't went through well. Okay. I couldn't run for like 2 years. So
Right.
yeah, at the time I was struggle, very negative. But because of that, I went to Samsung Hospital, and then I hung out with athlete and then learned rehab. And then because of that, I started, little weight training. I learned some bodybuilding style movement, and then so on. I improved myself because of a knee injury and surgery. So at the time, I thought that's really bad for me, but that actually changed my life.
Absolutely.
So do you have anything like that?
I don't have wood. I've never broken anything. Like, I am like a weird freak of like blessing, because I don't want to say that I'm knocking on wood so I don't go with like break my leg after this interview.
I did that too. Yeah, so you don't have anything. Wow.
I don't.
Amazing. Okay, so now I'm curious, what is your leg press, or like squat or deadlift, and like kind of how many chin-ups you do? I want to know. I want world to know.
Again, like, the weird thing is like, so the difference between like bodybuilding and like a power lifter, like, is that like, even someone who goes like, oh, how much do you bench press? And I'm like, well, like, I have like boobs. I don't have like pecs that I want to like build out. So it's like, how do you like, I don't know. It's never been, but right now I have trained to sort of increase my weight. So like, what did I do?
Deadlift.
I don't go super heavy on a deadlift, really.
Yeah.
Like
10 reps. 10 reps. Say 10 reps. Or 5 reps.
I don't ever do 5 reps. So I usually go within like a 12 rep range if I'm doing like 4 sets. If I go to 10 reps, I'm going to be doing 6 sets. I would probably do, let me do the math here.
Say 12 reps, 12 reps, 12 reps, deadlift.
Honestly, Joe, I haven't monitored that one. I could tell you shoulder stuff. So like shoulder lateral raises, 25-pound dumbbells.
Yes, but a lot of people, they don't get it. How heavy is a 25 pounds lateral raise? That's really heavy.
That's
But,
really heavy.
I know that's really heavy, but I like, how about like deadlift or squat?
But again, I think it's not always important.
I know you're very focused on contraction, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you're lifting lighter than maybe some power lifter, but you actually make your muscle fatigue better with a little bit of lower weight, right? You control really well, I think.
I think the difference too, like when I'm training, because I use a lot of supersets. So like, for instance, in a leg day, if my focus, I'll have like 2 exercises that my goal is to go as heavy as I can with those, but I will pre-fatigue or post-fatigue with a complementary exercise. So it's never really like a German volume training where I'm just going for that one movement for the next 10 weeks. I would get very bored with that. But like, for instance, this time right now, I've been going, okay, well, like, what's my max on a shoulder press? And like on the machine, I did 100-pound shoulder press. That was impressive for me. I got 12 reps out of that. I was good with that. I was very sore, paired that up with some lateral raises. It was good. For a squat, I did like plate and 35 on either side.
45 pounds bar plus 35. So 115.
Yeah. So like bar with, 50.
35.
Plus,
So 115. That's good. How many?
No more. No, like a plate and a 35 on each side.
Yeah. So 45 is 135. 35 is 115.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Plus the bar. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about chin-ups?
I don't really go for max. I'll use a chin up as a complementary movement with a heavy one. So I'll do like, like a 12 rep pull up, chin up, and then I'll pair it up with something like a single arm row or something.
So you do 12 reps.
Sure. Usually
Easily.
I do like 10 like wide grip with those as opposed to a narrow, just because I don't really need my biceps. And I'll pair that up. Like today I did I like isolateral movements. So if in a superset, I'll do like an isolateral movement paired up with a regular movement.
So is it necessary, like a woman, they need to build their body, need to do chin up?
Is it necessary for people to do chin ups?
Or you recommend?
I think it's a good measure of like mind muscle connection, because a lot of people try to do a chin up or a pull up with their arms, and that's why they fail at it. So it's like, once you actually can learn a scapular retraction and use your lats and your back for your pull up, I think that's the value piece, because then when you do functional movements in a day, you're not going to blow your back out. You're not going to pull your low back, because you actually know the difference between your biceps and your back.
So, usually, right? So ladies can do chin-ups, right?
What ladies? Who are you talking to, Joe?
Average sedentary girls, right? Usually, even guys nowadays, problem is a lot of people can handle their body weight.
Right.
So what would you recommend them? So how to start their chin up?
How to start the chin up? So I love bands. Use your resistant bands. Pop your knee or your foot in that so that you can control and then gradually take off the assistance. I also like do as many as you can unassisted, and then add in the failure reps with assistance. You can do negatives. So if you start at the top and hold your body weight and take a slow eccentric release, and then add in, so if 10's your target, then you could do, negative releases, and even if then try to get 1 full pull up. So if you get 1 full pull up and 9 negative releases, then the next week you might get 2 full pull ups with 8 and work it that way. You could also use the momentum of a jump up pull up. So actually jump from the floor up and then control that eccentric way down. land on the ground, jump back up. So use momentum. And again, try to get that mind muscle connection to allow your back to release you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So what is the one of the best or most worthwhile investment you ever made? Could be investment of money or time or energy.
The best investment, most definitely, like the cliche of like your health is your greatest wealth is 100% like true. The investment of knowledge is important only if you actually apply it. Do not collect certificates. Go out and apply it. So like, I think the greatest investment that all of us have to actually leverage is our time. I think that the greatest way to respect someone is to respect their time. I think the greatest way to disrespect someone is to disrespect their time, because we don't get that back. So I would say definitely the greatest investment would be the time spent in building relationships.
Yeah, like one of my greatest influence teacher, Charles Poliquin, he said,
yes,
the health and wellness professional, their audio should match video.
Right? Like how lucky do you feel to have known him as a man?
Amazing. You know, actually, I went to his last seminar, like Colorado. He opened up the new gym, right?
Yeah.
So I went his seminar, and he was so happy at the time. I never seen, yeah. And then 2 weeks later, he passed away. Yeah.
Like I just get goosebumps as you say that, because there is someone who 100% like created a legend out of passionately, like persistently, consistently provided wisdom, like selfishly. He would just like, and he was authentic to who he was. And I just think that that's such a cool legacy to have left.
Yeah, he made a lot of, trainers and coaches successful and rich.
But also just like what he gave to me was like value. He highlighted the element of how knowing that little bit more, like biosignature is like a science that adds a whole nother layer to expand into, right? And so the more like knowledge that you have that is sound, like that will never change, is you can't ever not have that. Like it's embedded in me. So even if I don't, talk very technical with it, it's still underlying in the words that I use and the programming that I do. And yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So what are the top 3 most common reasons your client come to see you?
Ooh, maybe we should ask them that. I joke when I meet a new client, I joke and I say that I'm Hotel California. And I said, you're checking in, but you never really check out. And the reason why I say that is because I am forever, like someone will come to me for a specific reason. Maybe they come because they want to lose weight or whatever that is. Before they actually reach that initial goal that they identify with in the first, time together, my goal as a coach is to unleash their next goal before they even reach the first one. It's to unleash that mindset that this is a lifetime, like ever evolving. Bodybuilding is ever evolving. Every age requires different things. Our hormones change. We can control them instead of them controlling us. So I would say that my clients come to me because I walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk. I would never tell them to do something that I wouldn't personally do. I 100% am committed to our relationship together. They can trust me. I would never ask them to do something again, like that would hurt them or put them. I always say, I'll never ask you to do something that I know you can't do, but I will push you to the brink past what you thought you could do. And I think that it's a love-hate of like, you did not hire me or come to me to be your friend. And if you did, I'm not your coach, because there's that fine line of respect that needs to be there. Because if they wanted a best friend, they'd work out with a best friend. If they wanted a friend to tell them what to eat, they would do that. But I think that they know that I will always be honest and transparent, and not to hurt them or to break them down, but to build them up and actually help them transform their lives.
Amazing. Do you have a muscle soreness?
Do I have a what?
Muscle soreness.
Muscle soreness?
Yeah. Do you still have a muscle soreness?
Absolutely. If you don't get muscle soreness, you didn't work out hard enough.
I love it.
That's why I take curcumin.
I love it. I love it. So how many days do you have a muscle soreness after leg?
Again, it depends. Sometimes it's stealthy. Like if you add mobility work into your leg day, whoo-wee, it changes things. But usually like the second day after, it's 48 hours for me. So like the first day after, not so much. The evening of the following day is like, oh yeah, I worked that. And then, but I also use infrared sauna, and I find that really helps with recovery.
Good. So muscle soreness is a good thing, right?
Absolutely. Good sore, right? And you know the difference between good sore and bad sore. So if it's targeted pain, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You know, for me, muscle soreness is not pain for me. It's pleasure. Right. I love it. I love it. Right. It's like, oh yeah, I did it.
Totally.
Yeah. So I tell my client, when they work out this thing, it's like you getting paycheck.
Yeah.
When you work, you get a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the top 3 advices you will give your client? Okay. You need to do this thing, like common advice to all of your client. Common advice. Like, for example, like, drink more water or sleep more.
Like, I think everyone knows they're supposed to drink more water, so I'm not going to waste one on that. That's common sense. Drink more water, right?
Yeah.
I would say turn off your screen. I would say guard your mind right now, in the sense of the intake. So what you ingest is not just your food. So watch what you listen to, watch what you watch, and make it be positive. Do not have more negative than positive going in. As well, like, like move your body every day. Don't be a weekend warrior where you're all in and then you quit. Start with a goal that you will achieve every day and build upon that. If you get above your little mini goal, great. It's a bonus day, but just consistently. So like plan ahead and check it off and be accountable to you.
Amazing. What are the top 3 things you learned past 2 years?
The top 2?
Top 3 to the 3 things you learned past 2 years.
So are you referencing the fact of like global pandemic?
No, I want to know, like, what did you learn like last 2 years most inspire you?
I definitely learned who would be in my bubble. Like I joke and say, okay, like who would your 5 people be that if you had no one else, who would your 5 people be? I defined those. And by doing that, it made me level up to be someone else's top 5. So like just as simple as like, waking up at 4:30, 4 o'clock, because I get to, because I can, not because, there's 1,001 reasons that I could be like, oh man, we own a gym, it's closed, it's been closed for this long. I could say, oh man, like I can't go shopping, I can't go out to eat. Yeah, nah. Everything happens for a reason. So get out of victim mode and focus on what you can do. So I think that's a big thing that just sort of was re-solidified for me, is like, go for it. Like the same advice I would give my 20-year-old self, I apply to myself right now. Just go for it. Like today, I just made a really huge, like step towards something that I'm going to launch. And I was like, as I was doing it, I was like pressing like send. And I was like, okay, this is like, as soon as you go for it, then you have to follow up with it because you're committed. You're setting that intention. You're putting that energy out there, and then you can chase it as opposed to sitting and just letting other people's weight come at you, right? I think there's so much that we can do. So I learned that. I knew who my 5 people were. And also in the sense of the slow down pace, I learned to create a margin. So I am like a go, go, go. So prior to, I've always been, and as a trainer, you would know this, your life is booked on the hour, every hour, right? So it's like, okay, Joe, good workout. And you're like, hey, Jenny, next up. Like, you're like, boom, boom, boom. It's like a quick pace day. And so I get up at 4 and I'm going until 7. And when things shut down and you had to create a margin of time for either cleaning or taking information in or whatever, it made me put a buffer of time, 15 to 30 minutes between appointments that I have, and I will forever keep that. It allows me to download the information. It allows me to bring, like, even from this like interview, I get jazzed up. So after this, I'm going to need to decompress so that I don't go home to my husband and be like, hey babe, and like be all crazy, right? So having that margin between appointments allows you to be present and focused.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So what is the one thing you know or you practice, but other health and wellness professional, they don't know or they don't practice, but you think they should practice?
What's one thing that I, as a health and wellness professional, practice?
Or you know, but other people don't do?
I think that's what makes me me. So I'll just keep doing it and you do. The thing that I love about training is, like, for instance, I'm not everyone's flavor. And I say that. And I think the key thing is be authentic to what you do so that you will attract the clients that will benefit from that. Don't try to be someone else's flavor. Their flavor will attract it. Like, I know some people from the first conversation, they might like the idea of me, but it will be the longest hour of both of our lives if I actually took them on as a client, that I would just be like, you know what, probably not the best choice. And it's really important that you connect well.
Yeah, Charles said, if you don't have any hater, you're not stand for anything.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, you are exactly, like, amazing. So what? Go ahead.
One of my colleagues made up this word that he posted this past week, and I thought it was very funny. To something I think Charles would probably think this is funny as well. So it's when someone who is jealous starts acting like an asshole. Sorry if I'm not allowed to, you can bleep that. So if a jealous person becomes an asshole, they're a jelasshole. And I think that's true. It's like when someone is jealous of you, they'll not be kind to you. So what someone else thinks of you is none of your business. Just be authentic, be kind, be real. And if someone, is jealous or doesn't like you or is a hater, it's their own insecurity. So let them work it out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So what is your plan for next 6 months to 2 years?
I'm all about like living in the moment. So I do have, I am going to do, so I've redone my website. So getfitlicious.com is my website. I've redesigned that, and we'll add in like a personal shopping experience for like supplements and nutritional piece. So rather than just someone like clicking, oh, I'm going to buy this because I heard it will work, it works in like the conversation about what does this thing do? How do you use it? So it's more of like a sort of a private club element, an education porthole. So that'll be launching out, as well as I think like some online programming stuff. I have an app right now, and that's going to expand out. And yeah, those are 2 little things in the works.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I think, you are the person, people that don't have energy or not fit, go to see and that have a tons of energy. I think I highly recommend you to everybody.
I appreciate that. Well, likewise, but also it's like you are who you surround yourself with, right? So like your energy is really good. So when we're talking, that energy works off each other. So it is really important. Like, if someone out or someone that's watching this is looking for a mentor, find someone that you want to like absorb from, right? And just like be a sponge and apply their suggestions, be open to their suggestions.
Yeah, one of the reasons I started this podcast is unfortunately, fitness industry is a lot of people say that they are expert. So,
Right.
so I like to interview actually real good health and wellness people. So anybody they watch my show, and then they can go to see you or my other friend, because the like quality and energy and knowledge, that's so good.
I
So
appreciate that. I think one thing that's really, I had this conversation with a client of mine about a week ago, and we were saying like how dangerous the word expert is as a professional. And I won't ever put expert, or if someone says like, what's your title or bio or whatever, when the word expert, health expert, I'd rather say I'm a health enthusiast. Because an expert in some subconscious way will turn off your receptors to learn something new. And I think the best teachers are always students. And it's not to say that you don't have an abundance of wisdom and knowledge and whatever, but I think sometimes when people call themselves an expert, they're trying to impress people with a title instead of their body of work.
you're right. You are absolutely right. Amazing. Thanks for sharing your amazing energy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything you want to say? Final
No,
word?
I just want to say thank you for this. And I think you're so right. People just need to get little nuggets of inspiration and just apply one or two of them. And just based on some other, people that you've interviewed, they're really quality people. So I'm just grateful to be part of that group.
Yeah, I want to create it like, nice health and wellness fitness support, like supporting group.
Yeah.
Because a lot of professionals, like lawyers, doctors, engineers, they have own like sticky and quality the group, right?
Yeah.
But we need that too. We need to like supporting each other and help each other, cheer up each other. That's what I try to do. Because I'm retiring next year. Next year I'm retiring. Seriously.
You're retiring from what?
I'm gonna travel.
Okay.
I'm gonna rent my place. I own the I own a gym too, right? I own my property, so I'm gonna rent it, and then I'm gonna travel. And then have you ever read like Blue Zone?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to go Blue Zone area, interview some old and healthy people, and then like learn and or share. So why this person so healthy and happy and live long? And I want to do that. And then I'm going to go down south and learn plant medicine. That's my plan. So before that, I want to like interview a lot of amazing health and wellness people.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheers.